I'm a simple man and I simply love Star Wars, which is why it is so good right now that we have the next season of Andor. We've got Andor season 2 and it's a bit of a crazy drop. I mean, we've got 3 episode drops every week, every Wednesday. If you're here in Sydney, it's at every Wednesday at around 11 a.m. Honestly, it's crazy. It's a lot of content. I mean, we've got like what 52, 50 to whatever to fucking 45-minute episodes. Like it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to do. And I wanted to do this in a little bit of a different way. I wanted to preface this because I'm not really the same kind of YouTuber as all of these other guys out there. I mean, I'm not Screen Crush who goes into hours and hours of lore. I'm not like Beyond the Dune Sea that can make all of these beautiful and romantic takes about this galaxy far, far away. I'm a simple dude. I genuinely am. I'm a simple dude, and this is just going to be a simple review of the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 2. And look, I gotta say, on the front foot, I absolutely love this show. I genuinely love this show. I think this is honestly one of the most amazing starts to any season that we've seen. And I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. Everyone knows I'm a huge Mandalorian fan, and season 2 came out absolutely swinging. But nothing compares to this Andor season 2. I mean, look, I got to admit, coming off the tail end of season 1, I wasn't really that much of a fan. I mean, I know that this is going to be something completely different, and it was not going to be something that was, our everyday Star Wars. Tony Gilroy, the director, he was very big on that. He was like, no, this is not going to be the same everyday Star Wars that you've gotten. I want to do something different. I want this to be different. And it's what they've done. I mean, Rogue One was such a success. I know for a lot of people, this divides the fandom massively, but I love Rogue One. I think Rogue One's actually one of the movies that I would tell people, if you've never seen Star Wars before, jump into Rogue One, because it's such a good way to kind of like outside view go and see this amazing galaxy and this whole world that George Lucas has created. It's just, I think it's beautifully created by someone who is obviously very passionate about his love for his craft. And season 1, look, as much as I didn't like the start, it got really good at the end. But that's one of the things, right? Do I want to have to wait through how many episodes to get to the point that it's good? And that's why I slowed down. It took me a long time to get actually back into it. I mean, the first 3 episodes, I fell asleep in the second episode. I've never done that in Star Wars. Genuinely never done that. I mean, this is obviously season 1, but like, second episode, I literally fell asleep. I was like, God, this is so boring. I mean, it's like an international spy drama with all this. That's not what I wanted to watch. Instant turn off, chuck on something that we've been able to, like Revenge of the Sith, 20 years this year, pretty cool. Chuck on something that's a classic, and I never really gave it a chance. Oh, look, I had to come back later because I was spoiled a lot of the stuff. And I got to say, like, one of the main reasons as to why I finished the whole series is because of the cinematography. And this season, honestly, this latest season has been nothing short of unbelievable with all of its cinematography. I mean, I got to say, this is one of the most visually gorgeous shows that I've ever seen. I mean, if you look at everything in detail, it's gorgeous. I don't know where they filmed this. I don't know how the hell they filmed it, but I gotta say, I mean, I want to learn everything on how to create something that's just magical like that. I mean, instantly I was just pulled right back into this universe. And I mean, and it's for something that was really slow for me. Again, even at the end, I had so many kind of just questions being like, will I like this? Is this something that I wanted to see? Yeah. Honestly, it turns out that I was completely wrapped in. I mean, that first episode was 53 minutes, I think it was. Completely had me hooked. I mean, that felt like it went for 20 minutes. It was something that was just, over like this. I was like, oh my God. Like, it started off with the bang. But I gotta say, there is a reason for that. I think this whole show and these first 3 episodes, while I don't need to go into depth about that, if you want to see that, go check out some other amazing channels. I mean, Go look at anyone that I've collaborated with. Star Wars, like Star Wars Sith 66. We've got Star Wars Nerd, Tales from Peridia. Beyond the Dune Sea is the biggest one. I mean, genuinely, that's the person that I would recommend to everyone. Screen Crush, all that kind of stuff. You don't need to see that. So, like, genuinely talking about the start of this. I mean, what I love about Cassian is, I mean, I didn't want him to be in there. He kind of had to work for that right to be in that fandom, you know? I mean, at the start, it was like, why the hell are they creating a show based on someone who we don't care about, we don't know anything about, and frankly, I don't need to see more. I don't know what I don't know how the hell they pulled it off, but it was a very much like an Ahsoka Tano thing. Like, everyone hated Ahsoka Tano at the start, and now she's like in the ethos as one of the most amazing characters. Obviously Dave Filoni is like, you know, just frothing her every single time. But you know, that's not the point. What I think has gotten Cassian into the fandom so much is what actually kind of reminded me straight away in this very first episode is just his relatability. I mean, Cassian makes you feel like you're a part of the Star Wars universe. I mean, you could be Cassian in there. He's got nothing special. He is super, super human. He's got a lot of varying emotions. He is super jealous. He's angry. He doesn't really know how to communicate properly. I mean, he's someone that's so relatable comparative to all of these heroes that we've gotten. Like, how could you relate to Yoda? Someone who sits out there as a visible mentor, someone who stands back and just goes, you know what? Look, I can aspire to be like that, but I'm never going to be like that. That's why so many people related to Anakin, because he had a wider range of emotion. But Cassian, he fucks up a lot. He screws up more than he does things right. And it kind of gives you that chance to be like, you know what? That could be me. Not that, you know, you would fuck up, but like, if you think about it, you jump into that TIE Interceptor, which I love the look of the TIE Interceptor. I love everything to do with all of the displays, the HUD, all that kind of stuff. Massive fan straight away. But it's like, you know, to look at something like that straight away and see it and you just go, whoop, and you like, how the hell would I know what I'm doing if I sat in the cockpit of this like super, super advanced TIE fighter that is just, you know, I mean, any kind of spaceship, it's got like a ball knob thing that looks like you're turning. No idea. Like, I genuinely, it was like I'm 12 years old and I'm looking at my mum's spice rack going, what the hell do I put with my eggs? You know what I mean? It's like all of it's going to work well if I do it right, but like, how the hell do I do this? Anyways, I just thought that was a really, really cool aspect of it. And also to kind of see that human part where, you know, he was meeting with that girl and she was really, you know, she was also pretty relatable. I mean, like, she's just giving up her whole life. Genuinely. I mean, like, we don't know what's happened to her. Out of all of the rest of these 3 episodes, we've never seen anything of her. So I don't know. I mean, theorizing, I think she's just dead. And you know, to give your life up for that, what is such an insignificant moment. I mean, imagine, right? You've literally given everything to be a part of this rebellion. I mean, you've given your career, you've given your safety of not just you, but also your family, most likely. I mean, anyone that's connected to you, you've put them in danger. Fuck. Yeah, that's a lot. And then to see this guy, like, just jump in going, yeah, I have so much hope for this. He gave such an inspiring speech. And it wasn't comedic. It wasn't anything of like, oh yeah, you know, like, let's kind of make it a little bit more relatable through comedy or anything like that. No, it was genuinely, it just felt like stupidity. It felt like relatable stupidity, relatable misunderstanding, you know, to see someone fail right after you've given everything. Like, that's your one shot. The doors have closed. He has to blow it open. Like, that's the only way. Everyone's aware of everything. It's like, did I give it up all for this? And, you know, I think that's what this show has done so perfectly so far is like just the genuine depth. I mean, the one thing that I love about Star Wars is its simplicity. You don't need to know much about this universe. You don't need to know much about the characters or, you know, what they stand for or what they do. It's very evident in their actions. It's a simple universe with a simple theology of good versus evil. But who is the good and who is the evil? that's a kind of a little bit of that's a little bit deeper than kind of, what it is portrayed as on the surface, because are the Jedi really that good at the end of the Grand Republic and all that kind of stuff, right? But you don't need to go into all of that. I mean, genuinely, if you look at this and you see it and you go, wow, like, this is just simply, I want to be part of the good guys fighting this bad regime. And what Andor does is it gives that so much depth. I mean, it goes deep into, like, it's not just good versus evil in the most rudimentary, you're a bad guy doing bad things. It's like all of the ways that they do things are so inherently evil, so inherently good. I mean, it's the pure embodiment of this most simplistic idea of generating a storyline that is, a very one-way path. I mean, we know exactly where this is going to end. This is season 2, I believe will be the last season. But we will see it. End at the start of at the start of Rogue One. So it's like you see something like that and you go, okay, I clearly know where everything's going, but how the hell are they going to do this? And I think Tony Gilroy just pulled it off perfectly. I mean, and don't even get me started on how amazing the actors and actresses have been through this whole thing. Like, it's just, I'm loving it. I'm genuinely loving it. And I feel like for all of you guys out there who haven't given it a proper chance yet, I mean, I really can't wait to see what you guys think at the end of this season. I mean, if you are willing to put in that time, you don't have to. That's what I love about this one. It's like, it's so inconsequential, but it also, it's so deeply rooted into the franchise as being something that's important. I mean, this is the most important part of the franchise. It's making sure that the Death Star plans go to the rebels so they can take down the Death Star, like the ultimate weapon in the galaxy. Without all of this little kind of like the unimportant stuff and just all of the basic boring shit that you don't really need to see in the grand scale of a movie. How can we drag this out to being the most incredible storyline? And I think genuinely they're on the way. I mean, onto that whole good versus evil, right? Now we've seen goodness. We've seen, Mon Mothma. She's been amazing. She's been so beautiful in the way that she resonates with the audience and all of the characters around her. And it's great. Like, they're good. But what I love about the bad, I love this deep cut about the dark side of Krennic, right? We get to see Krennic come back after, I mean, how long? I've missed this character. I think it was such a beautiful way to add this guy in and just create someone who is, so fearful but so insignificant. You know what I mean? Now, what he reminded me of was when you go and you look through history and you see Hitler, right? I know. A lot of people go, who's the big bad, right? Hitler. But there's so many deep cuts in this show that it brings you back to the root of like, this guy is, I mean, he's displaying all of these characteristics of what is in our world, in the real world, something so bad, so disgusting. I mean, you see Krennic, right? Where is he situated? He's in a castle on top of a mountain. Now, what is the same thing that Hitler had? He had Eagle's Nest, right? It was this big home on top of a cliff. I believe it's in Austria. It was his holiday home, okay? And it was one of the most fortified places ever. You had to go through 3 different waves. I'm not going to have to teach you guys a whole history lesson, but you had to go through 3 waves of security clearance before you could even get up to, the main building. It was a heavily fortified base, right? So you've got this, and what did it have as its grand, its grand bloody window? It was this massive, massive view of the most beautiful Austrian Alps, all of these, like this huge window that gives you just, it's so beautiful, but also at the same time, it's in the hands of someone so evil. And to look at something like that and to see the similarities between Krennic and Hitler, I was like, oh my God, I don't know too much about history. That's a very base level. You've studied history in school for a month. You know what I mean? If you like that kind of stuff, it's just interesting, right? And to see deep cuts like this, I mean, it was just, I loved it. I genuinely loved every aspect of it. I think that it really drew me in to be like, this is the most relatable show to our world, to our universe, to everything that happens with us. It's not, we don't have this fancy technology and these amazing, flying ships that can go anywhere and seemingly do anything. We've got everything in our world and it's simple. But it's just the same as there. It's just, they've got the most simple kind of, caveman idea of tribes. But now you add in all of these, it's the first time in the Star Wars universe where I've heard Visa. You know what I mean? Like they're talking about in the third episode of being on the wheat planet. I can't remember the name. I'm not really going to remember the name. If they're on the wheat planet and it's just like, and like all the visas, like you don't have a visa to be here. The Empire's striking down. It's incredible, but it makes you kind of think of the people who are in the shadows, all of the regular everyday people, the ones who do absolutely nothing to the grand scheme of the story other than cheer along on the sidelines for whoever they're rooting for, and I wrote something down that I kind of, when I was watching, it really made me think. Now, this was while I was watching Krennic in his eagle's nest, or whatever you want to call it. Now, what's also cool about that is they had all of the high people of the Nazis always in the eagle nest. But in this one, Krennic had all of the high people in the Empire, and it was very much the same thing. It was a really cool mirror to our world. Anyway, so. What we were talking about here is like when I was looking at it and the way they showed this 1950s style ad for it was Gorman, right? It was like Gorman sweaters or whatever it was. It was spider silk. Talking about, I really really liked that, by the way. I thought that was really cool to have kind of a retro aspect to something that is so technologically advanced. Anyways, also fun little quote of like, the Emperor wants stable unlimited power. like this. The moment you hear it, you just think of the Emperor going, unlimited power. You know what I mean? So it's like, anyways. So I wrote this thing, right? Because it very much reminded me of the little people. That's what I think the show does so well. It reminds you of the little people. The Empire's strength, right? Everything that is strong about the Empire is showcasing their manipulation of people's weaponized incompetence. They're looking at everyone who is, they're following along with their life. They don't look at the grand scheme of everything, and they're taking advantage of it. They know that if they strike fear in these people, if they show them and lead them down a path that is corrupting them in even the most immoral or moral way, either way, like this corruption, it will just turn the tides of war. Like to be able to turn people's incompetence against them is something that's so truly evil. To look at this and go, yeah, this is genuinely people, like these people are someone, like they don't care. They don't care about anything to do with anyone. All they want is the betterment of themselves. And it's just, deep cut after deep cut of just how do you create this visceral fear and anger towards these people? It blew my mind how well they did it. Genuinely. I wrote another thing here, and this is kind of like, this is little parts of, little notes that I wrote down. Again, this is very simple. I didn't want to do anything that was too deep, because I want everyone to be able to kind of see this, see this the same way. I don't need to do deep dives into everything. You guys get it, where if you watch this kind of stuff, you just appreciate Star Wars. A lot of people who I've seen here, they hate it. They hate all of these additions that Disney's been making, and that's fine. That's fine. All power to you. I support everyone doing that. But I feel like this is a little bit more of a positive space, and to kind of see a little bit more of a simple view of, oh, you know what, this is good, and I can see where it's bad, but this is where I can try to make that good again. You know what I mean? But I wrote here, right? The stark contrast of a morally good rebellion showcasing depth from the standard good versus evil whilst remaining at its roots. Now, that's kind of what I was talking about before with, it is good and bad, but it's really like the depth. It's the tip of the iceberg to say that someone's good and someone's bad. But what are the roots that go down to strengthen this plan? Why are these ideals not wavering in strong winds? It's because of their deep-rooted and strong, just just moral system. I love it. I think again, this is one of the most amazing displays of modern day storytelling. Genuinely. So we get onto the second episode, and I know I've kind of lit it in between all of these different things, right? So in the second episode, I really do think that the Empire was kind of leaning into that Nazi image a lot more. I just, and ending with that Yavin 4, it was kind of like, you know what, this is everything that George wanted us to see. I mean, the Empire is based off the Nazi regime, so why not flaunt it? If you can see everything that has been influencing Star Wars from the start and you know how you can implement it, why don't you do it? And I think that's where Disney's kind of lacked a little bit, and that's where they're picking it up. I did a recent episode about like we're entering a new era of Star Wars, and I think it's going to champion everything that's ever happened before. I'm seeing so much more positivity. I'm seeing and this is someone who's like in the kind of reads of all of the fan base. I'm seeing both sides. I'm seeing creators both happy and unhappy, and I really see a lot of it. And I just there's a resounding happiness comparative to what it was 5 years ago. You know what I mean? To work on that and to work on what has been genuinely the roots of Star Wars, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. They're not basing this show on anything that has been seen before. I mean, no, they're basing it on what the other parts of it were based on. So how can you create the most authentic show? It's, well, this is my mission. This is my derivative. This is how I want to create a show. And then I'm now going to dive into this and be like, all right, now using what has been the foundations of this whole galaxy, how can I make sure my story thrives? I think it's done it perfectly. And if you're talking about tense moments, tense aspects of anything to do with this show, I think all of it resides down here in this third episode of The Harvest, right? So on that wheat planet where it is just barren of life other than these small pockets of humanity and existence, right? In a world that seemingly is devout from any life at all, even though it's nature. And that Imperial officer, he walked in, he goes, it's quiet out here, it's peaceful. But is it really peaceful? Because you've got no greenery, you've only got a sea of wheat and massive metal silos and machinery and work and just constant turmoil. Think about all of, from a farming perspective, someone who I grew up on a farm, and to see something like this kind of displayed in an aggressive, like industrial farm. I mean, it's something that when you see the cattle, obviously in our world, right? The cattle that go into these massive meat farms, and it is a disgusting image. I think this is truly the same thing. And it's kind of what they're trying to portray is like, well, there's going to be some places that are completely fucked up from this empire. What are they doing to drain everything of life and resource from this planet? Like the soil must be barren and dry, and the life there must be so boring and bland. To see that these little pockets of color is it gives you that hope. It's what I mean by that good and evil. It was kind of funny. So I work weddings, right? So I'm a wedding bartender. I do a bunch of that for all of you guys who have seen it before. It was kind of funny when I saw the wedding before, which I think was really, really cool. I like that they're doing deep cuts into different lore and they're adding more lore, and it's very reminiscent of like the Mothma clan and all that kind of stuff. Very reminiscent of ancient Britain, where they would go and colonize all these places and take over. I mean, look, this is not an attack or it's not a support of colonization. It's just merely a fact, right? They would go over to all of these different areas and they would take these the vast amounts of riches and just genuine parts of the society of the land that they've colonized. And to see it being returned, it was just very reminiscent of something of like the British Empire, which was kind of cool. It was really, really cool. I think Mon Mothma had the actress who played that, amazing acting. I think it was beautiful all the way around. I mean, I think the ceremony was awesome, but it was just really, really funny. I bring up the wedding, right? Because the wedding was really, really important, right? It's the connecting of two clans to make sure that they have the most amount of kind of like material resources and money and power and all that kind of stuff. It's like, Mon Mothma, she's going against it now. She's realizing her faults. She's becoming good. She's becoming the Mon Mothma that we will see later. We've got to create this kind of backstory, right? But I just think it was so funny, like the music that came out. And obviously it was kind of like a little bit of a Death Star because they had the speaker and it was only focusing on one. It was going around, it's kind of cool. But the music was so shit. So shit. And they're dancing to this like, oh man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyways, but what I really loved about that was just the use of light. I mean, oh my God, to look at this, it was so beautiful. I don't know how the hell they filmed all of this, but it was gorgeous to see everything. You're seeing these shadows of people and at the same time as seeing who they are, but hiding their identity. It's like, it's a blur of, you have an individual that is so disgusted with her own actions that she blends into this crowd of nothingness. You know what I mean? And maybe that does seem a little bit too deep, but anyway, it was interesting. And to kind of like finish that one off, because I'll just leave it there. One of my favorite movies is Inglourious Bastards, right? And what I loved about this one is the officer on that wheat planet, the one who tried to rape the female actress who played Cassian's girlfriend. I think they're pretty much dating. I don't really know. I have her name. I can't really remember. I'm really bad with names in this season. They haven't really said it too much. But so what happened was when he was going through, it really reminded me of Hans Lander. So Hans Lander is the one who at the start of Inglourious Bastards, he's on that French cow farm, and the farmer has got his daughters there and he's giving him fresh milk. I would like some fresh milk, and he's drinking the milk, and they were pointing downstairs to all of the Jewish people that were hiding under, right? Because the farmer had to give him up to make sure that his family was safe. Really reminded me of that. Like this guy who is betraying this image of strength but it's just a facade for this evil, this like disgusting evil. Like you get to see him being like, hey, is your husband around? And you could see the visible change in him going, oh yeah, okay, we're on here. Like this whole Nazi image, I think we're going to see a little bit of a trend coming through, and I'm all here for it. I mean, like, I'm so sick of these days kind of people empathizing with the Empire. It was a terrible, terrible regime. I can't wait to see everyone kind of lead up to be these fucking big bad guys that, genuinely are so reminiscent of the roots of Star Wars, But what I did do to actually finish this off, let me get my phone here. So I put on my Instagram. If you guys do follow the Instagram, definitely give it a check. If you don't, I do a lot of updates there, and I do all this kind of stuff, But what I do for all of these kind of video breakdowns, I'll do a fan segment. Okay. So in the fan segment, I basically just asked the simple question. I said, tell me what you think about the first 3 episodes of Andor season 2. Right. So I had a few likes on there, which I'm assuming that people liked it. But I did actually get a couple of responses. So the first one being from Jordan Foot, Jordan with double N, Foot or Foote. I don't know how to say that properly. But thank you so much for sending in a little message. Said, bro, this shit is peak. And I'm 100% with you. I mean, like, this season is leaps and bounds ahead of the first season. I mean, that was just, the first season was slow but visually beautiful towards the end. Oh my God, like that captivated me at the end. And then from the last one, where a very, very good friend, I have Star Wars Nerd 00. Definitely go check out his channel. It's really, really cool content. Actually did an amazing story recently. So definitely go check out on his video or his video and his profile. It said, meh, better than season 1, but just not my thing. Give me sabers and space battles. Now, I love that, and I love that your opinion is not wavering. I don't want to see people changing their mind because they feel like they have to fit this agenda of everything's becoming good and everything's, happy again, because you don't have to feel that way. And I'm really glad you don't. So what I want to implore you to do, Star Wars Nerd 00 or Kenrick, if you will, I implore you to watch the rest of it. Have a whole opinion on the show, but you don't have to. You genuinely don't have to. For the people out there who want sabers and space battles, watch it. Don't have to watch Andor. Genuinely. I mean, like, What I will say, now I know Star Wars Nerd doesn't do this. He's a very big supporter of everyone enjoying what they want to do, or what they want to enjoy. You know, never going to yuck anyone's yum. But just don't tear anyone down about this one. I think to have such a beautiful piece of literature and to be able to resonate with so many people, this show is going to be impactful. It's going to break the mold of Star Wars. You know, as much as, you know, you might not want it, and for the people who like sabers and, you know, sabers and spaceships, there's going to be that content for you. But I will say, I think Star Wars is changing, and it needs to change. It can't stay the same way. Now, I'm very big on, you know, allowing to adapt to a current time, and I think it was a little bit of a failure with the sequel trilogy. I mean, and by a little bit, I know it was a massive flop. But I think for Disney's part, I think they just didn't do it well. They didn't look at it and go, oh, well, you know, this is going to be perfect. This is going to be everything that I need to see. It's never going to be like that. You know what I mean? Current trends at the time weren't even that trendy. You know, I think they were working a couple of years behind everything that was happening, you know, the early 2010s, and kind of influencing the later when it came out. It didn't work out well, and I'm glad that it's working out now. I think that what they're doing now is they're adapting to a time where people care more about the quality of the content than they do about the message within the content, right? The message is always going to be there. Any single show, any single movie that you see is going to be there. But they care more about what the actual show is. That's another reason why The Acolyte failed. But do things have a chance for redemption? Yes, I'm a big fan of that, mainly because of Andor. Season 1 really killed me. It took so much motivation for me to get through it and just finish it so I could start this second season, right? But season 2 has been fucking phenomenal, and I hope it stays that way. Star Wars is in the need for a change. It's in the need to grow and to adapt to its new environment, and I'm all here for it. I'm going to accept change as much as I possibly can because I think this is really, really important for the longevity of this universe. I hope you guys think the same thing. I hope you guys will enjoy the rest of this. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a different review, more of a simple man's review, and I can't wait to do it more. I think this is kind of going to be a little bit more of the change to the content, right? Because I want to create something that you guys can relate to. Because we're just friends talking to each other, and that's what I want to be in the end. If you guys want to message me privately on Instagram where I don't have to say anything on here, please do. Let me know. Give me updates about everything. Do you like stuff? What do you think I should add to the show? Be that, you know, something that you want me to talk about, or etc. Or even just comment down below, you know, if you like the content. I appreciate every single person that's there. Remember, every single week I'll do it most likely on Wednesday, Thursday, I'll do the fan question segment. So make sure to go check that out. If you do want it, I only post it on my story. So just chuck on story notifications and you'll be able to see that anytime you want. But I love you all. Thank you so much. May the force be with you all. Remember, this is the way. And Mandalorians, I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.